Remember watching this at Super Bowl 59 just a couple of months ago? When Jimmy Johnson retired from Fox after being with the network basically since he got the rights to the NFL 3 decades ago, they decided to honor him, and I put the word honor in the biggest air quotes imaginable, by dedicating an entire segment to his career and how good of a coach and personality he was, by using entirely AI-generated footage. Instead of a segment where you have members of the staff and family members and people close to Jimmy Johnson say things about the man and show some of the best highlights of his career, Fox decided to spend 5 minutes telling Jimmy Johnson's story using artificial intelligence. What followed was an absolute mess that was one of the worst things I've ever seen on a major broadcast. There were major inaccuracies with the AI, including statements that did not exist, things that never happened or were completely omitted, and things that never should have been in there. You can learn more about that by clicking the card in the upper right corner, because it bordered on uncanny valley territory. And maybe I foolishly thought right then and there, after how badly it got panned, that Fox wouldn't be crazy enough to try that again. The AI experiment was a one-off specifically for the Super Bowl, and because they couldn't tell the story otherwise, seeing as the idea was that you follow Jimmy Johnson over the course of his career as he narrates everything as if it's happening, almost like how Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress works, I thought that maybe in this great big beautiful tomorrow that we wouldn't have to see this crap ever again. Or if we did, it wouldn't be until it was refined to the point where it was presentable. Well, surprise, surprise, because Fox decided to come back with a product that is somehow worse than what we saw with Jimmy Johnson. They didn't just decide to bring back the AI segments, but they decided to double down. And during week 2, in a game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Seattle Seahawks, so not even the game involving their number 1 crew, seeing as they were on the rematch of the Super Bowl between the Eagles and the Chiefs, or the game involving their number 2 crew, seeing as they were on the Giants-Cowboys NFC East rivalry that went into overtime, Fox decided to do an AI segment about Aaron Rodgers and his career thus far, going through the highs and the lows in a short time period. And I want to show you how this segment looked. Take a look at this.
Number 24 pick 20 years ago by the Green Bay Packers, sat behind Brett Favre, who he's now chasing on the all-time touchdown list, beat Pittsburgh in Super Bowl 45, 4-time MVP, ends up with the Jets in 2023. This is a season, plays well in the second half last year.
Now you might be thinking to yourself, wait, what's wrong with that? That looks perfectly fine. And the reason why it looks perfectly fine is because, plot twist, that was done by me. That's the video synced up perfectly with the audio by the play-by-play man. That's using real photos of what happened, showing Rodgers at 6 different phases of his NFL career. Waiting to get drafted in 2005, sitting on the bench behind Brett Favre, winning the Super Bowl against the Pittsburgh Steelers, dominating the entire 2010s with the Packers, and winning a bunch of MVPs, getting injured in his first game with the New York Jets, and being a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers, joining his 3rd NFL team. These are real photos used to capture real events that took place. At least with Jimmy Johnson, you probably couldn't tell the story in that manner without the use of AI. Here, as I just displayed, it's very obvious that you don't need artificial intelligence and animations and all of that stuff to tell this story, seeing as the photos took all of 60 seconds to find. But Fox, always setting the gold standard for production quality, from the same network that brought you score bugs with no backgrounds and no score updates anywhere, and the same network that still has Terry Bradshaw doing highlight rundowns at halftime, which is going great, by the way.
Throws it up to Leak on your
I am honor.
Yes, what I said, I am honor. Yeah.
They now bring you an AI disaster of the career that is Aaron Rodgers, filled with crappy animation and inaccuracies left, right, and center. It's not just the fact that Fox is using AI for this. It's that they're legitimately getting information wrong. They are rewriting a history that does not exist, and we need to break it down, because even though this video is just 15 seconds long, it's appalling how much was wrong in it. And this should serve as a lesson to anyone who likes to use AI regularly in their lives to be a substitute for the creative process or to try and get information, that it is not reliable. Even though there are 6 scenes in this video comprising roughly 2.5 seconds each, there are so many inaccuracies that it's shocking how this got through, unless quality control doesn't exist at the network with their NFL division. And I don't think it does. We start off in the draft room with the first scene, as Rodgers is waiting for his turn to get picked. In real life, the signs behind him are very clear. This is something about Super Bowl 40. They're advertising the next Super Bowl and the road to 40. I'm not sure what the exact text is, because maybe there are some other words that you can't see. But I'm fairly confident that it's not this. There are 5 words on that banner, and I'm not sure a single one of them is actually an English word. That is definitely not the logo of Super Bowl 40. Not even close to the right color scheme for that logo. I'm not even sure what that logo is modeled after. Is it the Berlin Thunder of NFL Europe? Is it the logo of the NFL Draft from 2001? Is it the 1998 NFL Draft logo? I genuinely have no clue what it's supposed to be. But whatever it is not legible, nor are any of the words on the banner in the background. So we're off to a good start. 1 scene into this, and everything's in gibberish. But it's about to get worse. Because then we get to the second scene, where Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers are sitting next to each other on the bench. Rodgers and Favre played on the same team from 2005 to 2007, with Favre being off of the Packers by the start of the 2008 season. And this is important because, as you might have noticed, yeah, that's the wrong NFL logo. Favre and Rodgers never wore those uniforms. The NFL logo that's on the collar, that's the logo that they changed it to in 2008 that we still have today, where there's 8 stars on the shield and more of a block-shaped L. The logo of the NFL for about 35 years before that, and the logo that should be on the jersey, is this one, as in the one with 25 stars and the script-shaped L. The jersey of Aaron Rodgers and the jersey of Brett Favre contain logos that were not around at the time. So we're just pretending that the NFL has always had the logo that they've had since the dawn of time, I suppose. Great job rewriting history. We've got non-legible words and inaccurate logos. And it only gets worse. Enter scene 3, as Aaron Rodgers wins the Super Bowl and wears a shirt that says the Packers are the champs of the world. Yep, that's definitely a thing. Love it when Freddie Mercury sang his iconic song, "We Are the Champs." How did no one notice if the spelling was off? How did no one notice that there wasn't a P on this word? Like, if the background words are wrong, okay. But the foreground? You couldn't even make sure that the word champs was spelled correctly? And then, look at the trophy that Rodgers is holding. I don't know what Super Bowl number that is. One shot makes it seem like it's Super Bowl 23, implying that the Packers won the Super Bowl and Rodgers won MVP when he was 5 years old. Another shot makes it seem like it's Super Bowl 59, as in the most recent Super Bowl when he was definitely not a member of the Packers. Either way, whichever Roman numeral that is, I can tell you that it is most definitely not XLV, as in the one that he actually won. Aaron Rodgers is a champ of a non-existent Super Bowl. We're not even halfway through this mess, and this AI model that Fox is using has gotten almost everything wrong, and it's gonna get worse. Because then, Rodgers gets injured as a member of the Jets. And I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that the Jets don't have their players wearing yellow socks. In fact, the night he got injured, which is what you're clearly referring to here, because he's wearing an FDNY hat, the Jets were wearing white pants, not green pants. And the socks did not have yellow stripes on them, because of course they didn't. That would be like if the Atlanta Falcons had green stripes on their socks, or the Green Bay Packers had red stripes on their socks. It's a color that does not exist in the palette of the Jets. Also have to love how the shoulder pad is the jersey number of the player, which yes, it should, because that's what NFL jerseys look like. But what number is that? the Jets should retire Aaron Rodgers' number, because it's not even a number. His jersey number is just the Staples logo. His jersey number is a game of hangman. That is not a number. If it is a number, then number one, I don't know of this number's existence, and number two, it's definitely not the number 8, seeing as there's no line going through the middle, and the box isn't even closed. Also, yep, that's definitely MetLife Stadium. MetLife Stadium is famously known for its open-air end zone and its video board in the center of the end zone, and is not known for its bowl shape with 4 video boards in the corners. I think they used the Raymond James Stadium model for an injury that happened in the game at MetLife between the Bills and the Jets. Seriously, this looks like Ray J. So in Rodgers' time with the Jets, he's wearing an imaginary number on his shoulder pad, he's wearing yellow socks, and he's playing at Tampa for his opener. Makes tons of sense. And then we get to the most egregious example of them all. Because to close off this beautiful AI segment, we see Aaron Rodgers in a Steelers uniform. And you might notice that there's one Steelers logo that looks just a tiny bit off. And that's because it is off. Because on his hat, the order of the colors on the logo is all off. On the hat, the red diamond is at the top and the yellow diamond is off to the right side. While on the actual logo, the yellow diamond is at the top and the red diamond is off to the right side. You might be able to notice that, considering the fact that the logo appears 3 times in this shot, and 2 of the times it is correct, but they didn't bother to fix it for the 3rd. You would think it'd be easy to tell the AI model here, do the same exact scene, but make sure the hat Steelers logo is the same as the one on the jersey in the back wall. But nope, there was no quality control or thought put into this. And because of this, we get logo slips like this one that are blatantly obvious, even if you're not going frame by frame, trying to nitpick stuff. Again, this was a 15-second video. In 15 seconds, we saw Aaron Rodgers in a draft room next to a sign that did not exist, wearing a Packer uniform that didn't exist, winning a Super Bowl that didn't exist, while wearing a shirt that didn't exist, with some text in the background of the stadium that didn't exist, wearing a Jet uniform that didn't exist, with socks that didn't exist, and a jersey number that didn't exist, while playing in a stadium that the Jets didn't play in, and wearing a Steeler uniform, wearing a Steeler hat that doesn't exist. How many mistakes is that? For something that doesn't need to be AI. For something that easily could have been a voiceover coming back from commercial with some photos or footage of him doing those things, seeing as, you know, we actually have photos and videos of him doing those things. We actually have this stuff. It's not like he's a player from 150 years ago. We don't need this. We're gonna use AI on broadcast for stuff that actually happened and for stuff that does not need AI at all? I can't believe I'm actually defending the Jimmy Johnson video. I can't believe it. But at least with that, there was no way to pull that specific storytelling mode off without AI if you wanted to surprise Jimmy Johnson, seeing as you needed a voice model of him and needed someone to look like him. Here, it's extremely easy to do, and the fact that Fox didn't do it and made mistake after mistake is sloppy, is reckless, is rewriting history, and is a dangerous and bad omen for things to come. So on that note, I make this urgent plea to Fox. Stop making AI videos. The videos are inaccurate, and you're rewriting history that doesn't need to be rewritten. The videos themselves look like crap. No one is amazed at the technology that you've got. Everyone is either furious they are using AI instead of getting actual artists to do this or animators to do this, like ESPN has, is laughing at you for how bad it looks, or is criticizing you for how lazy and inaccurate it is. Whether or not Fox decides to scrap this AI involvement of theirs is a question that only time will tell in the future. But I know this much. The only one on Sunday who had a worse game than Caleb Johnson was whoever thought this Aaron Rodgers AI segment was a good idea. Check out our live streaming schedule for the next few days. We're live every single day on this channel, whether we're covering a sporting event or playing GeoGuessr or just taking your requests. So make sure you like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a single time that we go live and so that you can join this community. Also, thanks to all our members and our Patreon supporters who get exclusive perks like their name of the end of each video, members-only Q&A streams, and cool emojis to use on videos and during streams. See how you can join this community and become a member or a Patreon member by clicking the link in the description below.